Hi, my name's Jen. Welcome to my presentation on constructivism. I'm going to give a brief overview of my values as an educator and how I think they align with constructivism, look at how constructivism can be applied in a primary education environment, look at its benefits and some considerations. So as an educator, I believe that we need to have an eye to the future and look at the future skill requirements of our students. So particularly being cognizant of the fact that they'll need to have good problem solving skills, critical thinking skills, emotional intelligence, etc. So I think it's important to focus on educational experiences that build their sense of agency, creativity and resilience. So we want students who develop confidence in their ability to learn and become lifelong learners. Also students to be open to new ideas, to be adaptable, to be able to work with others, and to develop resilience, to understand that making mistakes is part of the learning experience, and develop stamina about taking on challenges that are progressively more difficult in learning and also in life. I think this quote by Vygotsky really captures the essence of constructivism. What a child can do today with assistance, she will be able to do by herself tomorrow. So it talks about that future benefit of these approaches and the educational experience. So how do we apply it? Well, first we need to look at creating the right environment. And Tam talked about 4 characteristics of a constructivist learning environment. Firstly, it recognised shared knowledge. So it's not just the teacher that brings knowledge to the occasion, but it's also the students. They've got their experience and their sense of knowledge that's already been constructed. There's also shared authority, so the teacher contributes and the student contributes, and they gain that shared understanding. The teacher, in fact, is meant to take a facilitatory role and to guide students through the process of learning. And it's very much centred around the group experience, so recognising the value of that shared collaborative environment through groups and the importance of heterogeneous groups as discussed by Brown. So in terms of what we do, looking at sort of activities and some of the practical applications, one of the first steps is to understand what the current constructs are that students have. So either through discussion, or it can be through drawings, it can be through concept sort of association walls that you develop with students to see what do they know, what learning do they bring to this subject matter. We can tap into their experiences and we can utilise their natural areas of interest to define which areas they want to focus on in particular, so it has more meaning for them. We also look at applying discovery, giving them an opportunity to explore the subject matter, and usually guided discovery is considered to be more effective in order to keep children sort of largely on track. It's very much focused around inquiry and problem-based learning approaches as well. So posing questions that have multiple answers, that gives us a degree of latitude and sort of relates to that sense of exploration as children sort of work through the subject matter and develop and construct their new learning. And assessment is a key part of it as well, assessing at the beginning what their current knowledge is through the process, and then at the end to look at the new constructs that are developed. Collaboration is key, as I mentioned. This notion of reciprocal learning is developed by Palenskar, that there's shared understanding and understanding that and developing that shared understanding through the process. Creating communities of learning, so in the classroom you can create little groups, community through group or peer-assisted learning. And there's discussion too about how it's important to give students multiple different sort of learning communities in order to further extend their zone of proximal development. And there's also the importance of guidance. As the educator, you utilise modelling to demonstrate to students how they can work through problems, the importance of scaffolding, and Collins talks about how it's important to sort of balance. You don't want scaffolding that's too heavy-handed or too light, and the importance of developing questioning around for that scaffolding. So it's not just based on recall, but actually leading the student toward deeper learning, and that's where you can apply Bloom's taxonomy to the process as well. So what are the benefits? Constructivism, because it engages the students, it motivates the students, it taps into their natural curiosity, is assumed to lead to better educational outcomes. It focuses on developing understanding rather than just memorizing, which can be a bit of a function of more behaviourist types approaches. It develops the learning how to learn in a way, and transferable skills. So students can take these skills into other sort of subject areas and also into life more broadly. It builds meaning around the educational experience for students by tapping into authentic experiences for them, develops life skills around communication and collaboration, and also gives them a sense of agency and ownership over their education. There are some considerations. Time that it takes for students to learn their group skills, teachers to prepare, the assessment process, developing that safe environment, the risk of reductionism if the activities chosen are too limiting and don't really tap into developing that knowledge of genuine constructivist activities, if it's just tick box as opposed to allowing for genuine exploration, needing to balance the student assessment versus curriculum need, the fact that not all students are motivated in this way and they might find the lack of structure frustrating, the fact that other theories, behavioural theories and information processing approaches still have value. Constructivism is not the be-all and end-all, and the experience of the teacher. It can be easier and more effective for more experienced teachers to apply this approach. So at the end, it means look at it, apply it selectively, know where it works best at more complex and conceptual problems, and recognise the importance of ongoing skill development for yourself and the students. Thank you. I've got a list of references attached.